Hi, I'm here to yeah, my experiences in LNU. Being the new girl is something I have grown accustomed to over the years. I like to consider myself a new professional girl because I become somewhat of an expert on what it's like to walk into a crowd of people and not see a single familiar face. My name is Bridget Andrea Cabahog, and I have attended 6 schools from different places in the last 12 years. You may be asking, why has this girl have gone to so many schools? Well, it's because I have a very rough life and I don't want to talk about it. So, yeah. But recently, I transferred. For the seventh time, I transferred during my sophomore year in college here in Lady Normal University. At first, I was feeling nervous and excited at the same time because I will face new strangers again. Well, in my head, a lot of things were going on. Like, I was hoping and praying that everyone will be nice and not to be embarrassed, especially on the first day. But my imagination was the opposite of what happened in the reality. So let me take you back from the beginning where I laid my very first footstep in LNU. I remember on my first day, I was walking through the student center for class. I showed up 30 minutes late, and the only available seat was on the other side of the room. So after walking past the whole class, obviously late, I sat down for the lecture, and 10 minutes later, I realized I was in the wrong class. Yikes! So I then got up, picked up my bag, and walked past the entire class again, humiliated. Great, my first day was a bit off. Being embarrassed with people who I don't even know. I wonder what could go wrong in my 3 years of stay here. So, after that embarrassing moment, I told myself I will go to school early, and if I will enter a room, I would ask someone if I'm in the right one. Well, yeah. And making friends in college is too different from is different in general because it takes more effort than in high school. Especially in my case, I was new and I'm the type of person who is not very friendly. I do consider myself an introvert, yes. But making friends in LNU wasn't that hard because I actually met my very first friend during class. I think it was during our communication arts subject. Our professor told us um, told us that we will be having an activity in pairs. So we need to work with our pair, and so while my classmates were all busy looking for someone to pair with, I noticed this girl at the corner alone, probably waiting for someone. So I asked her if she would like to pair with me, and she did not resist. So to cut the story short, um, we were partners in that activity, and luckily we got a good grade. Yeah. I was glad that we had that activity because I met my very first friend, and I met my very first friend in school that day. And we would hang out together and eat lunch together and chat whenever we have our free time. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel alone in school, and I'm just so glad that I met her. She's so funny, and I love her for giving me pieces of advice in my difficulties. Yes, and also I could actually see some similarities in our situations. Yeah, she is just so funny. I love her. So that was one of my most unforgettable moment in school. But sadly, that friend of mine transferred to Cebu. Yeah, I was so sad because I felt like I will be alone again, and maybe I would skip eating lunch because I have no one to eat with. Although we're still friends and we communicate through Facebook. But it's not the same when she's here in person with me talking. It's not the same, really. So after a few months, I decided to change my habit and started to socialize with new classmates. I felt like a turtle coming out of my shell. I made new friends again, but not that many. We were not that close, but I think I could still call them my friends, even though we're not classmates in some of my subjects. We still hung out, especially during lunchtime. So after a year, I've developed self-confidence. Now I feel comfortable being alone and I feel independent already. I would eat lunch alone. I could say I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not saying that I don't have friends anymore. There are still some, although we're not too close with each other because of my schedule. I would I would nod or smile at them whenever we see each other at the school. Yeah. I realized at college it doesn't matter if you have so many friends or you only have one, because what matters is how you learn by yourself by not relying on anyone's back. Yeah. And so I do admit I'm clumsy most of the time. I would like to share another recent unforgettable thing, or should I say embarrassing moment. It happened a few days ago. I was in a rush because I was about to be late on my first subject. It's not my fault that the traffic would take me 2 hours in going to school. In school, the gates have these new machines wherein we have to swipe our IDs before we could pass through the rolling bars. So when I arrived, I hurriedly swiped my ID. But to my surprise, it didn't work, so I tried it again until it worked. But the most unexpected moment happened. The bars rolled into my skirt and it almost hit my thingy, but I'm glad it didn't hit. I was so embarrassed that I immediately fixed my skirt once the bars got untangled, and ran as fast as I could to the third floor in the college building because that's where my class was. And I didn't pass through that gate that day because I was scared the guard would notice me. It was one of my luckiest day ever in school. Yeah. As of today, I'm looking forward to what will happen next year. 2017 is coming to its end and a new year will come. Well, every experience that I had this year was memorable. To me, I will surely treasure those moments, even the bad ones. Whether it was a good or a bad memory, because by now I realize that experience is truly the best teacher. I've learned a lot from experiences this year, and hopefully next year I'll learn a lot more. Especially next year is my last year in school, in LNU, but it doesn't mean it's the end for me. Rather, it's a new beginning of my next chapter in life where I can now apply everything that I've learned in college, and especially from my experiences, but most importantly from the teachers who taught me to become a better and competent person. So after I graduate, hopefully, I will make sure that the 4 years of my hard work won't be wasted. That's all. Thank you.